All right, let's talk about something cheery, shall we? No, not those adorable penguins you like. We're talking about the sheer destructive power of the world's nuclear arsenals. That's right, folks. We're diving headfirst into the top 10 countries with the most nuclear weapons because apparently the threat of turning the planet into a radioactive wasteland is how some people like to sleep at night. Look, I get it. In a world of uncertainty, there's a certain twisted comfort in knowing your country has enough firepower to vaporize a continent. But it's also utterly terrifying, like finding out your grandma has a secret stash of hand grenades. And kicking things off with a chilling bang is Russia, sitting pretty at the top of our list like a radioactive cherry on a cyanide sundae. They've got an estimated 7,300 nuclear weapons, which is a lot, even for a country that measures its landmass in time zones. Of course, Russia likes to be a bit cagey about the exact numbers. They're all like, oh, how many nukes do we have? Let's just say it's enough to make your hair stand on end permanently. They've been at this whole nuclear game for a while now, first testing a nuke back in 1949. Coming in at a close second, it's the good old US of A, the land of the free, home of the brave, and birthplace of the atom bomb. They were the first ones on the block with this terrifying tech, kicking off their nuclear program back in 1939, and for a while, they were stockpiling nukes like they were going out of style. At their peak in 1967, they had over 32,000 warheads. Thankfully, they've cooled down a bit since then. Well, cooled down is relative. They're still sitting on a stockpile of around 4,670 usable warheads. It seems the French have a certain je ne sais quoi when it comes to nuclear weapons too. They're currently sitting on over 300 warheads, which, let's be honest, is still enough to make a very, very messy croissant. Now, to their credit, they did ditch all their chemical weapons back in 1995. But when it comes to nukes, they've adopted a keep calm and carry a very large, deterrent kind of policy. They've even got one of their 4 nuclear submarines on permanent patrol in the Atlantic. Subtle. Next up is China, with an estimated 250 warheads and a rapidly growing arsenal. See, China's taking a page out of the American playbook. They started their nuclear journey back in the 60s and have been steadily ramping things up ever since. In fact, some experts reckon they could double their nuclear arsenal by 2020. That's not exactly what I'd call a fortune cookie message I'd want to see. The United Kingdom, that bastion of tea, crumpets and nuclear weapons? Yep, turns out those Brits enjoy a good spot of mutually assured destruction with their afternoon Earl Grey. They've got an estimated 215 warheads and they've spent a pretty penny maintaining them. We're talking billions here, folks. Apparently, even in a global apocalypse, those nukes better be in tip-top shape. Pakistan began developing nuclear weapons in 1972 under Prime Minister Zulkifar Ali Bhutto. While Bhutto aimed to complete the program by 1976, progress was delayed, prompting him to recruit scientist Abdul Qadir Khan from Europe. Through years of dedicated effort and anticipation, the project finally reached fruition in 1984. Chapter 7. India's relationship with nuclear weapons is a study in contradictions. While they've never officially confirmed having nuclear bombs, experts estimate they possess around 110. They like to keep things vague, shrouded in mystery, like the ending of a Christopher Nolan film. But their nuclear program dates back to 1944, and their first peaceful nuclear explosion, wink wink, happened in 1974. Chapter 8. Israel shrouded in secrecy. Israel is the nuclear equivalent of that friend who refuses to confirm or deny if they're dating someone. They've never officially admitted to having nuclear weapons, but experts estimate they have somewhere between 75 and 400 warheads. It's the ultimate game of nuclear poker. They're all in, but no one knows what cards they're holding. Chapter 9. North Korea, the nuclear attention seeker. North Korea, the Dennis Rodman of nuclear-armed nations. They crave attention, and what better way to get it than by repeatedly threatening the world with nuclear annihilation. They've been at it since 2006, conducting increasingly provocative tests and generally being a thorn in the side of the international community. Chapter 10. Iran, a nuclear program under scrutiny. Iran's nuclear ambitions have been a source of international tension for years. While they've signed treaties and promised not to develop nuclear weapons, there's still a lot of suspicion surrounding their program. It's like that time you promised your parents you wouldn't eat cookies before dinner, but they caught you with crumbs on your face and a guilty look. Outro, sleep tight, don't let the nuclear bombs bite. So there you have it, the top 10 countries most likely to turn our planet into a glowing cinder. Look, I get it, the world can be a scary place. We've got pandemics, climate change, Nickelback is still making music. Sometimes you just want to curl up in a ball and pretend none of it is happening, but the truth is, these weapons of mass destruction are a very real threat, and pretending they don't exist won't make them go away. So what can we do? Well, for starters, we can stay informed, engage in thoughtful dialogue, and maybe, just maybe, encourage our world leaders to, not destroy the planet.